They say you can only believe as loud as you yell, and you can only dream as much as you sell yourself. But she found a way through the noise. She followed her heart and found a better choice. Oh, she broke down walls by loving who was with her, and it spread like a fire. She waged a war through peace and forgiveness. One voice is now a choir. Can you feel it? Sacred solution. Can you hear it? Quiet revolution. Can you really be heard if you don't listen? Can you really be strong if you're not lifting others? She's taking a step by taking her hand and just holding.
Maybe the best present you can give is to be present.
Yes, I think that is the best present I can give. So, all right, I'm here. And we are so grateful to Jaycine for teaching. I tell you, this is one of my favorite things. So thank you, Jaycine.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And it's so crazy because I had that guilt and shame feeling because last year I didn't do it and I didn't teach it. And I was like, oh, you're such a poser. So I've been working against those thought processes this week and this year it's been interesting because you guys are the first ones I've been able to share it with this year. So it's just kind of been how the year has gone, and the person that I'm working with is on a different playing field this year. So in business. So it just really hasn't been on the forefront. And as I reviewed it, I was like, this is why I love it. This is why, oh yes, I'm so excited that we get to do a year and look at our year and review it. And so and it's all based on John Maxwell leadership. And I really love him because he is Christian based, and he teaches in more depth instead of just the surface things for business. It's not just the to-dos, it's kind of that underlying why. And that resonates with me so much. So one of his first comments about reviewing your year is he says, what I value, I find time for.
So
And
value, good for you.
Yes.
This.
What I value, I find time for. And he said, if you can keep that, if you can keep that in the forefront of your mind, what I value, I find time for, you're going to stay on track. So if you put that statement somewhere in your house or on your mirror or wherever, that's just a reminder of what am I really valuing, right? What am I really valuing this year? And so when you think about value, I think in order to value something, we have to think about it, right? And we have to cherish it almost. And I love the cat's tail. Hello. No, don't sorry. It's so cute. Yeah. So anyway,
it's becoming the mascot for CMH coaching here.
Yes. So as you think about what we're doing today, we're reflecting, and it's going to be we're reflecting on our year, and we have to value reflection in order to make time for it. And he shares a story about the CEO from Delta who had gotten a promotion, and I think he was president of part of Delta when John first met him, and he taught him about reflecting and being able to create time to have creative thoughts and to actually prepare people, because that's his job, is being prepared and preparing people. And he said once he made CEO, John checked in with him and he said, "So what's different?" And he's like, I have lost my reflection time." And he's
Ooh.
like, "I can see that I don't feel grounded because I don't have that reflection time, and I'm not able to lead this company in a way that is the best for the company. It's just like I'm putting out fires all the time." And sometimes as I re-listened to that, I was like, oh my gosh, that really is how I feel this year, is I feel like I've been putting out fires all year long with health, mostly with health stuff, right? And I think we have years like that we just are we just are, right?
Well, and I think that we have seasons like that, that's the way our life runs, is it runs in seasons. And so sometimes we have weeks that way, but sometimes we have years that way. So it sounds like it's been a different season.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And so that's why I'm really excited to like ponder this and do my year in review and really make time for it. So we're going to get started. We're going to scratch the surface here this morning, guys, but this is something that he takes a whole week to do this because it is a process. So, um I love what he says, that reflection turns experience into insight. So, what a powerful thought, right? Reflection turns experience into insight. So, as we think about, I want insight. I
Yeah.
want to learn. I want to know what what I did this last year. Um, And then if you think about reflection, there are three reflective questions to ask yourselves. Okay. So as you think about, what am I most proud of? What is one thing I want to improve upon? And what are the underlying factors between my two answers? So when you think about right now, think we're going to start with, what am I most proud of this year? So if you have something that comes to your mind, and it doesn't have to, you don't have to think about like something but really super deep right now, but just think of one thing that comes to your mind. What am I most proud of? What was the first thing that came to your mind? Put it down. Okay. So as you look at that, think about, is there something deeper to that accomplishment? Why am I proud of that? So write, why am I proud of that? What, write your reason. Don't write, why am I proud of that? What is your reason? And now look at that reason and then ask yourself the question, why again? Why? Why is that my reason? Is there something deeper to that reason? once you get that, you look at that again and you say, you go a level deeper. Well, why? Why? And the deeper you get, the harder it gets. So Beth, do you mind sharing yours? Are you okay
I
sharing?
don't mind sharing
Okay.
at all, of
Yeah,
course.
let's share.
That's
Yeah.
me. My life is an open book, unless it's not. Okay.
Unless it's-
So what I value, I find time for. What am I most proud of? I survived Seth's wedding. That was the first thing that came to mind. It's so funny because it didn't have to do with the rehab, which I really thought it might, but I
Mhm.
survived Seth's wedding. That was a really big deal. Why am I proud of that? Because the Lord's strength was increased in me to do that. I saw some really big growth in being able to do that. And then, is there something deeper to that reason? Yeah, because I want eternal progress, and I want to measure and see measured progress in my life. And that was an indicator. If I'd had to do that wedding 10 years ago, I don't know what would have happened, It wouldn't have been nearly what it was this year. And then why eternal progress? Because I want to get back home again. I want to get back to my Father in heaven. I want to be like my older brother and keep going. But that surprised me. Why would I be most proud of Seth's wedding? I wasn't even the mother of the bride, I just had
Right?
to show up, but showing up was a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
it
lot.
was a lot. It was this whole big conglomeration for us.
Oh my gosh. Did anybody else have like a surprise moment as they went through, especially going into the more getting deeper and
For
deeper?
wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's Nancy. Hi.
I'm finally here. Yeah. Okay. So mine was similar to Beth's, only different situation. Um, Mine, she wanted to survive the wedding. I wanted to make it through the year.
Mm.
Oh man.
Think about where you were this time last year. Yeah, that's big.
So, anyways, yeah, because I had a calling that was very, very difficult. And so at the end of January, it's like 11 months left. End of February, 10 months left. So anyways, that's so mine was survival.
Yeah.
But what in going through the different levels of why, it took me time to understand what the Lord wanted me to understand and how he wanted me to grow. And yes, there are gifts that are surprises, gifts that are very unusual that I found I had and I was given. And I have appreciated those gifts, and they're very unique to me. Um, it has nothing to do with the calling. I mean, as far as what I was doing to serve others, it's gifts that I have been allowed to develop to survive the year. So, um, anyways, and most of you know that I have a very keen relationship with people I serve in the temple, as far as doing work for. And that has come very easy. It's come since the pandemic. But what I didn't know was that I could have messages from week to week from different relatives, not just the ones I served. And so I've heard from people I know by name, people I know a little bit about because, like grandparents, um,
Yeah.
who may have died before I was born. But I've even heard from people that are 10th generation, and I have no idea what their name is. Um,
Nancy.
so, I mean, it's just been really fun to get these very positive, um, positive comments like, you're doing fine and remember this and whatever. And and like in one case, it was the grandmother of a second great grandmother, and I have no idea what her name was because her maiden name changed, And at the very end, it's like, my name is Mary, and it's like, okay, thanks. But yeah, there's been a lot of really fun messages that have come to help me, like we recognize what you're doing, and yes, you're good because of this or whatever. So
Wow. And that's a really deep why, why, like that's so much deeper than you knew it was going to be, right?
yeah, no, I knew that I could pray about the people that I had done work for or others had helped me with, and catch glimpses of their personalities and whether they accepted the work and how they felt about it. But I never knew that I could receive messages from direct line ancestry, that were specific to me, direction for me. So
Wow.
it's been
That
really
just
fun.
feels so supportive,
Yeah.
to have your ancestors to be able to communicate with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
I love that. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I love that.
So cool.
Well, gosh, when we start with those questions and we get down to the why, and then you do the same thing. Do you guys want to do the same thing? What is one thing I want to improve on? So write that down. One thing I want to
just pick
improve on.
one.
Just one. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Just one. It's kind of like your one word. You just get one.
Yeah, but I get a whole week to try to figure that one out.
Yeah.
With the same questions, right?
So the same, this is the question I want you to ask is, why do I feel this could or should be improved?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Could or should.
Hmm.
And then 3 times. Once you get that answer, you ask yourself that question again. Why?
You just never know what comes out when you start with those whys.
Right?
Crazy.
So hopefully those of you who are watching this and are participating live, I hope you guys are taking the time instead of fast forwarding and actually getting your journals out and doing the process.
It's
Because
in the doing that things really happen. It's wild.
it is. It is. Sometimes it's a little painful to get down to that third why. And if you were to go 5 deep, you'll know when you get to the root. You really will. There are times when it starts off really surface level, and then you go a little deeper, a little deeper. Other people have had practice in doing this. So if you're watching this and you're like, well, mine is not like how deep Beth got or how deep Nancy got, or stop comparing.
Mm.
This isn't a place to compare, guys. For you, you're going to start off and if you start off surface and you think there's more, keep asking yourself, is there more? So if you don't feel like you're at that root at level 3, then go a level deeper. And maybe you need to drink a sip of tea or hot cocoa or coffee or whatever it is that you're doing. But yeah, just
Or move a little bit.
move a
Sometimes
little
that
bit.
helps too. Move around just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And if you think about what we said at the beginning is reflection turns experience into insight. So look at your papers. Look what you've written down. And are you finding insight now?
That's so cool.
Isn't that cool?
It's kind of magic.
It is. It is. It's such a cool process that, I don't know how many of you out there believe in revelation, but I think it's personal revelation as we connect with our creator. And some of you might use universe. I'm going to choose creator, my creator. And as you connect, you will find those truths, right? You will find that insight that is just waiting for you, just waiting for you. I feel like we should have some music. I could sing to y'all.
I can start some music. I can do that. Hold on. I just made a great playlist for our ward Christmas party tonight. That would be perfect for this.
I love that.
I can do that.
So fun. Oops, sorry. Oh, what did I just do? I just shared my whole desktop. Wasn't that pretty? All right. So, Beth, I think we're ready to move on, but maybe as we reflect more.
I'll get
Okay.
it set up for next time.
So, we're going to talk about what are reflective questions. So, as we're also reflecting, I mean, we're getting that why down, but there's even more power when we go deeper than just the why. Because we live in this human body, we have the opportunity to experience things much different than just our spirits have. And so as we're reflecting, these are the 3 reflective questions. What do I feel? So as we're reflecting on our year, we're going to ask ourselves, what did I feel? And what do I feel if you just have that equals intuition?
I'm sorry. So do you want us to ask us how we feel when?
Just I'm going to have you write these steps down, Caroline.
Okay.
Yeah, these are just 3 steps. I was going to use my PowerPoint and I'm like, no, it's just so
Do
I
business.
It's very businessy. I pulled it up yesterday. I was like, yeah, no. So
Yes.
yeah, what do I feel? And put feel, you could just hit put feel equals intuition.
Got it.
Okay. And then just understand that we're intuitive in the area of our giftedness.
Mm.
So we're intuitive in the area of our giftedness. Isn't that an interesting thought? Because we're all given these gifts. In fact, I was reading, if it's okay, I just want to share a scripture. And this is out of, it's called the Book of Mormon, and it's a companion to the Bible. And it says in Moroni, the very last book in the Book of Mormon, it's called Moroni chapter 10, and it's verse 8. And it goes very much along with what John's writings are regarding gifts. But I was just reading here so that this morning, so that's why I wanted to share. And
Perfect.
again, I exhort you, my brethren, that ye deny not the gifts of God, for they are many, and they come from the same God. And there are different ways that these gifts are administered, but it is the same God who worketh in and all, and they are all given by the manifestation of the Spirit of God. For behold, to one it is given by the Spirit of God that he may teach the word of wisdom, to another that he might teach the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, and to another exceeding faith, and to another the gifts of healing by that same Spirit, and again to another that he may work mighty miracles, and to another that he may prophesy concerning all things, and again to another the beholding of angels and ministering spirits, and to another all kinds of tongues, and to another the interpretation of languages and diverse kinds of tongues. And all these gifts come by the Spirit of Christ, that they come unto every man according as he will. So I loved that. And as we were talking about gifts, it was just one of those moments that I had this morning that said, go to this scripture. And I wasn't sure that I would share it, but it just felt right. So
It's perfect. It's perfect.
y'all, everybody, every one of us has been given gifts. We have been given gifts. And so be intuitive in that area of our giftedness, right? So
Right.
that,
Well, can I
yeah,
say
go ahead.
something?
Yes, please.
So if you're not sure what your gifts are, one way to be led towards your gifts is to see where you receive that intuition and where you receive that insight and
Mhm.
follow it that way. So it can go both. We are intuitive in that area. And as we are in that area, if we feel intuitive, that's a good clue that that's a gift for us. Help us identify.
And it's really important to identify. That gives us power. So that step 2 is
Let
what
me
do
just
I?
add to that.
Yes.
Something else, it's so easy. Just ask people what they think about you, what they see as a gift.
Yes.
Because
Or
often
what,
we don't see
what do you
ourselves.
think I'm good at? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, and sometimes we are just us, right? And we just do what we do. And it's like we've done it that way since maybe we were kids and we haven't had to work really hard for it. And so we just think that it's, but other people look and they're like, holy smokes, I can't believe you can do that. Or how do you speak that well? How do you write that well? How do
Or
you,
how do you even think that way?
yeah. So recognize it's super important to recognize our gifts and to write those down. Okay, so what do I know? So what do I know equals the facts. What are the facts as we're reflecting about our year? What did I feel during that circumstance? What do I know? What did I know? And then what do I think? So, and that one gave me cause for ponder. It has for several years. What did I think at that time? So when I'm thinking, that's going to equal possibilities. So I want you guys to think about thinking as what are the possibilities that come from reflecting on a certain area in our year. So John Maxwell says good thinking takes everything, everything, and I love the word everything, to a higher level. Good thinking takes everything to a higher level. And thinking is the bridge between feeling and the facts.
Can I ask, what does it mean
Yes.
to be a good thinker? What is good thinking?
Good thinking. So, good thinking are these reflective questions. What do I feel? So, as we're thinking
Okay.
and we're reflecting and we're writing it down, it's not just thinking, but we're taking the time to write it down. It's going to take everything to a higher level. Yeah. It's
Okay.
taking the time to reflect. And then when you think about that, thinking is the bridge between feeling and the facts. So oftentimes, I might feel like my whole year was a waste. Like I just spent so much time with health challenge after health challenge after health challenge, and I really, what did I get done? You know, what
There it is. What did I get done?
Yeah, what did I get done? Right? What did I accomplish? Right? And so that's not the facts of my year, guys. The facts of my year are, holy crap, in and through these health challenges, I've grown to a deeper level of understanding, empathy for others also, but understanding about my body and about how healing works and the process of healing. And in and through that, I've also been able to serve and bless others in their journeys, right? And so it's the bridge. So we have to take time to reflect and think. And maybe and these are quotes from John Maxwell, maybe reflecting is the bridge between feeling and the facts. I don't know. Yeah, he said thinking, so I'm using his quote.
Right. But if they're reflective questions we're thinking on, it's the same thing.
Yes, yeah. So those are the three, that's your process as you're going through. You're going to ask yourself these questions as you're going through your year, 2020, 2024. So as you think about going through 2024, um, it the process is pretty easy. If you keep a calendar, go back. I have an electronic calendar. I live by it, and when it doesn't alert me,
It doesn't
I don't
happen.
do it, which is so sad because I rely so heavily on that now. But for me, and I always did. I don't remember. Do you guys? Oh gosh, why am I spacing his name? Covey.
Covey?
Yeah,
Covey. Stephen
yeah.
Covey. Yeah.
Yes, so I loved his planner, you know. I had planners for every year and I lived by that planner. Even down to like every 5 minutes sometimes. And when you're raising a family, sometimes that's the best you can do. So
Yeah.
look, as you're going through your year, you're going to go back and you're going to look at January 1. And as you're reflecting on that day, um, he said it's harder to go back. This year, I'm going to have to go back because I didn't put in practice the best practices. So let me tell you what the best practices are going to be for 2025. But all is not lost if you have not done this for 2024. So 2025, your practice is going to be you're going to have your calendar, and at the end of each day you're going to spend no more than 5 minutes. You guys, everybody has 5 minutes at the end of their day. 5 minutes. It's just creating the habit. And come to CMH coaching if you're like, I can't find 5 minutes.
We'll help you.
We've got a
You
podcast
got
that'll
it.
help you we've got Coach and Claire. There's all kinds of things to help you with this process to find those 5 minutes. But creating, you have the 5 minutes, but creating the habit. So for 5 minutes, you're going to have every day, you're just going to write down um, what was my focus that day. So so you're going to write, what did I focus on that day? Um, and it's best if you can come up with 4 areas max. Don't have more than 4 areas max of focus. And for me, my focus is very in line with what John Maxwell's focus are. It's communicate. I'm going to communicate every day. And how's that communication? I'm going to create every day. I'm going to lead every day. And I'm going to have faith every day. So those are my 4 areas that are super, super important and valuable to me. And my communicate, I broke it down into a couple of different areas. So
What are
first,
they?
they are, I want to communicate with God. I want to communicate with my family. And then my communication with others.
Thank you for sharing that.
So as I communicate, yeah, Jen.
Could you
I
repeat
can't
your
hear
4 areas again? You
Okay,
had
my
communicate.
communicate, create, lead is my third, and my fourth is faith.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I was just thinking, I've never done this, but I was just thinking on my Google Calendar, I can put at the very beginning of each of my day of every day, and I'm going to put my 4 areas, my 4 priorities. Those are my priorities. So I'm going to put my 4 priorities at the top of my Google Calendar every single day. So it will remind me that that's what I'm focusing on. And then at the end of the day, whatever your 4 priorities are, or 2 priorities, I don't do less than 2 and don't do more than 4. How's that? Those are the don'ts. Do,
Okay.
do. Okay. So as you go through your day, every single day, no more than 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. That's all this is going to take. And Beth, I know you use a 5-year journal, and this might be a great place, guys, because we're creating habit to do like a 5-year journal. And at the end of every single one of those days, you're going to say, you're going to use those reflective questions for those 4 areas, for my 4 areas. So, what did I feel when I communicated? What did I know? What did I think? What are my possibilities? My areas that I can improve on the next day. What are the possibilities? Or, maybe it's I had a really hard conversation with one of my children, and that's the forefront of my mind on that day.
That was my communication.
Yeah, that was my communication. But then I can look at, okay, how can I create? How did I create that day? Maybe I didn't feel creative in that moment, but what else did I do that I created that day? How did I lead that day? And then how did my faith show up that day? And sometimes that faith is right in there with that communication with one of my children. And it's like, I'm going to choose to have faith that um, I can have ongoing communication. I can still have a relationship. I can, whatever that is, right? So as I'm going through each day, I'm just going to write just one paragraph. And I'm going to think about, how did I feel? What was my intuition? What did I know? And then what do I think? So, gosh, I felt horrible when I had that conversation. It made me feel hopeless. It made me feel um, less than. It made whatever. This is how I felt. Um, but what I know is that I was, I am their mom for a specific reason. Like this is my calling here on earth, and I'm their mom. And so I know that. That's a fact. I mean, that is an unequivocal fact. No one else birthed them, right?
I made those children.
I
That's
made
right.
those children. So that's a fact. You can't argue the facts. Okay, so I know how I felt. I know what the facts are. What are the possibilities? And I'm going to choose faith for that possibility. I'm going to have faith that God can make things, you know, he can turn ashes into something beautiful, right?
Something beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Transformation. Wait, weakness is the gateway to transformation, right?
Weakness is the gateway to transformation. Yes.
I
Yes.
love
So do you
Oh,
use those questions with each area? Like,
just you could, I think it's Carolyn, it's that one area that really was your focus that day. Yeah. And there will be one area that comes to your mind that you're like I used the communication with a child. I might have on another day, it may have been, man, I had a breakthrough with one of the doctors that I'm working with. And they had this aha moment. And that's what is on the forefront of my mind. Because literally at the end of the day, those 5 minutes, we're not writing about everything. We're just writing about usually just one thing, Carolyn. Thank you for that question.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, because I thought, are we supposed to write on the 4 things we focused on that day? But you say on the main thing we focused.
Yeah, that main focus, that at the end
Okay.
of
what
the
the theme
day.
of the day was.
Yeah, kind of the theme of the day. Yep. What was that theme of the day?
Oh,
And and then you'll find as you look at that, because you're pondering, what are my values? Did I even focus on any of my values that day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? Was it just one of those days that I just got through, right?
We
I
got a lot of those.
and then also, I know Jen did a one word workshop last month, which is super helpful. And I got my ring from that one.
Oh, happy day.
My rings. So my word for 2025 is beloved. And so I'm really excited to see what that brings next year. But you also have your one word, right? And so what is your focus? If we forget about that, we choose a word and then we just never focus on it the rest of the year, it's really going to make it hard. We're going
really
to
love
miss
that.
out on so much growth. We're going to miss out on so much growth if
Right.
we do that. So as we go through every day and we have our calendar, then at the end of the year, we can write down our observations as we look at our calendar or at our 5-year journal. And you might even at the end of each month just look at a common theme. You know, what was the common theme for November? Huh. And reflect on that. What was that common theme? And then you've got your questions. Why? You know, what am I most proud of for that month? What could I improve on starting in the next month? And then just observing. So you're just observing. You're standing back, you're kind of reflecting. And honestly, if we do that on a monthly basis, probably aren't going to need a full week for doing this whole reflection process,
Yeah,
right?
it might just be an afternoon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can here's the theme. This was the theme of this month. My 4 value areas. Wow, my communication was strong this month. My creative part, yeah. And I might want to take create out of there because that might not be what my focus is going to be, you know? So as you go through this process and you choose your words, words have so much power. You choose those value areas. When you keep going through the month, you might go, that really isn't high on my value list. I'm really not giving that very much priority. Do I really need to keep that as one of my value areas? And if not, then get rid of it, omit it, and just have 3 or 2, or say, go to your creator and say, is there another area that I could do better? And as you reflect upon your month and you look at that and you're seeing this other, maybe it's another theme that's coming up throughout the month. And you're like, oh, maybe it's family time. You know, this is really important. This is what I really, really want to focus on. And yeah. So it gives us that time. Yeah, Carolyn.
Okay, so I had groceries delivered partly through that, so I'm slightly unsure of some things.
Okay, yeah.
So, on the questions to ask, or should you say ask questions ourselves at the end of each day in regards to what our focus was? You said something, what can I improve on? Where do you do that part? You said some questions before that. I'm just trying to figure out where all this fits.
Yeah. So when you look at your each day, every day you're reflecting, you've got
Right.
your 4 value areas, right?
Right.
Or 2 to 4 value areas.
Uh-huh.
You're just looking at that. At the end of the day, you're going to write about what was the theme of my day,
Okay.
or what was that one thing that really stuck out in my mind about that day.
Okay.
And then as the questions that you're asking yourself is, what did I feel?
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be the what did I feel? What do I know? What are the facts? Because sometimes what we feel and the facts they just don't align. And then what do I think? So, and what do I think equals what are those possibilities?
So what I feel, what do I know, and what do I think?
Correct. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
what could be lead to what are the possibilities?
Yeah. So think equals possibilities. So
Oh,
what do I think is that's always going to be our possibility. Because we know what we feel. Here are the facts. What are the possibilities from this?
okay. And then do you ask what can I improve on?
Yeah, I think that's part of the possibilities, right? So at the end of the month, this is just a daily thing. The
Right.
daily, at the end of the month, we're going to look at that and look at each of our days and say, what was the common theme for this?
Oh, and
Right?
that's when you kind of ask, what can I improve on?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what am I most proud of for the month? And then what can I improve on? Yeah. And then you can take those deep dives into if you schedule time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So find the time for reflection. And then this is your guide. As you come to the end of the year after you've done this month after day after day, month after month, and give yourself permission to be human.
Not be perfect. It's okay if you forget.
Right. Life will be lifey. Just as you remember and you come back to it. And I know from experience as I've done this in the past, how powerful it is. And you'll get to the point where it will be like wanting your favorite treat. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to just write this down.
I would love to be in that place.
Yeah. Yeah. It will happen. It will happen. Yeah. Because it's a beautiful space for you. And I think sometimes just when I journal, sometimes I'm just getting all of my yuckies out, right? It's just like, complain, or whatever it looks like. And I don't always feel uplifted. And that's why we always end with that question at the end of each day is, what are the possibilities? Yeah. And so every day we go into the next day with possibilities.
Oh, okay. I like that.
And doesn't that give us hope, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, what are the and honestly, guys, some days when you're feeling like you've been trampled on and squished into the mud, and then you get up and the truck drives by and they splash you with
The
all
mud you were
more
squashed in.
mud, yeah, that you just got out of. And there are days that just go that way. And sometimes that's hard to find a possibility. And honestly, if all you can say, here's the possibility that the sun will come up tomorrow, like that's the possibility. I know, I know. It's my little Annie, the little Annie in me. Oh, the sun will come out. My kids hated that song, but like that really is my sunshine song. Oh, bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow.
Jaycine, when you've taught this and when you have studied and learned from the John C. Maxwell, was there a template anywhere for these questions or a
No, he has a if you go to
I went to the John C. Maxwell leadership podcast,
yes, yes.
but I
And
just
yeah, and you can go to, what, let me
if
find.
it's associated with that, I can get there. But
Yeah,
it would be really helpful for me to see a template.
right.
And if
This
I've got it,
template- Yeah, so
download the bonus resource, I can just put it
yes.
in our chat.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so the bonus areas really are going to be just fill in the blank. So as he's talking, you're just filling in his words.
Oh, so that's not
So there
okay.
really isn't. I could create a template, which is basically what I did with this, is I just created a template of, and I could just share my notes. Yeah, here, let me share.
Share your notes. We can make
Yeah,
a template from that. That'll work.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That'd be awesome. Because
yeah.
I know I'm missing pieces,
Okay,
even though I've studied it before, with you. Hold
yeah,
on a second. Yeah.
yeah. Here, I'll just share what it's going to look like. And if Beth, if you want to make it prettier or something too, you can. Because this is just my basic notes. This is how Jaycine's brain thinks. I'm a bullet point.
Oh, you know what, Jaycine, you sent that to me last year and the year before. I recognize it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is
Can
just
you
what
just, yeah, I'll just find it and send it to people.
Okay.
And everyone can have one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just
Thank
changed
you.
my
This works for me too. Thank you.
Okay, good. You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. Leave it up there just for a second. I'm gonna do a quick screenshot.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And do you want me to share it so you have it, Beth, really quick?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure I have it on my hard drive. I recognize it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've used it before. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you taught it before.
Yeah. So this to me, this is just really helpful. And like I said, I have a PowerPoint and it's really pretty, but it just is very businessy.
I'm just thinking how cool it could be to just have a cute little template, that you could use
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
It would be cute. Let me hear. Like, here's my.
That's the way I think. I think in Canva now. Thank you, Jaycine.
You're welcome. So here's my PowerPoint
Oh,
that
I love that.
like
I
it's
love
really
flowers.
pretty. Yeah.
Yes.
It's really pretty. Yeah. I don't know how it relates to my men doctors, but I don't really care.
No, I really like your PowerPoint. I think it would be really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you the PowerPoint too.
That'd
Yeah.
be awesome.
Yeah, and then you can share. Feel very, yeah.
Mhm.
Just
Sure.
know that it doesn't have the. There you go.
Growth is the only
Yeah.
tomorrow will be better than today. Really?
Right?
Growth. It's true though. I guess the only guarantee that tomorrow will be better than today. Growth.
Yeah. I like that.
Yep.
I think I would change that to Heavenly Father. No, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the only guarantee that tomorrow will be better than today.
That's true, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
We have a sticker on the mirror in one of our bathrooms that says tomorrow will be better than today.
Mm.
And when Seth was really little, he walked out of the bathroom, trying to console some kind of contention in the household, and said, "It's okay. Today will be better than tomorrow."
Today will be better than tomorrow.
That's what he said in his little 4-year-old self. It's okay. Today will be
that.
better than tomorrow. And it diffused
Oh
the
my
whole
God.
situation. And I'm like, that was fantastic. Your heart's in the right place.
It's all there. It's all
Tomorrow
there.
will be better than today, for sure. The best is yet to come. We have it from a
Yes.
living prophet.
The best is yet to come. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you wouldn't mind sending the PowerPoint out,
Yeah.
that would be fun
Yeah.
to read through it.
Yeah. You got it. Yeah.
Super helpful.
Yep.
So I have a question. So this reflective exercise sounds like there's the daily, but then there's one you try to do every month. And it sounds like the questions are pretty similar, pretty much the same.
It's
Correct?
always
They
the same
are.
from what I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, they are exactly the same, Carolyn. You're
Okay.
just going through and you're looking at your month and you're saying, what was the theme for this month?
Yeah. Okay.
Did it align with my values?
Yeah.
Did this month, did the theme, as I look at all these days, did this theme align with my values? Yeah.
I really like this because I feel a lot of times I'm just sort of, I don't know, kind of floundering, like wondering, am I doing any better? Am I
Yeah. How do I measure?
am I really staying true to the things that I value? It's something that's kind of been there in the background. I haven't really spent time to reflect on it.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
But
Well, and sometimes we need a template, right? We need some steps. Well, how do I even do that?
yeah. So this is really,
And it is a daily practice, a monthly practice, and a yearly practice.
yeah.
And just with that quote we started off with was, what I value is what I find time for.
Yeah. It's really true.
So,
It'd
you
be
know,
a good way to evaluate yourself.
yeah,
Where am I using my time? That'll show where my values are right now.
Yeah. I mean, even you can do it on a weekly basis,
oh, for sure, Carolyn. Yeah. Yeah.
mean-
Break it down. Hmm.
on Sundays, we'll take it to sacrament.
Mhm.
And anyway,
Reflect on that. Yeah. Where were my values? Like, yeah. Yeah.
I
I
love
mean,
that.
some of the things that I thought going into this Christmas season, I had all these plans for this and that. And honestly, I really want to. And I look at the things that I've actually spent time on and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't align with my values. Like, yeah.
well, I think it's helpful because it helps it become more clear what my values are.
Hmm. Yeah, true. Yeah.
I mean, what I want them to be and what they are, and try to align to what I want them to be.
Yeah.
That core, that's there, but you're kind of not sure if you're actually doing it.
Right. I agree. I was actually, as you said that, Carolyn, one of the thoughts that came to my mind was like all of my spare minutes, I do cleaning the house because for me, it's no brainer. It's easy. I get instant gratification on
Mhm.
it. And yet I have a project that I started that I wanted to give as a gift that is probably not going to be ready for Christmas because
I tried that.
yeah, I defaulted to cleaning the house instead of sitting down and doing this project because that is harder for me. Being that creative, that part of creation is more challenging for me. And so I defaulted to, I'll just go clean the toilet. That's a great thing to do.
Well, projects I think that take creativity, that it is more work. You have to be in a space where you can relax and your brain can think, and it does take more discipline to allow space for that, because like you say, our default brain, what's easy? Oh, I can load the dishwasher. That's doesn't take any thinking to do that.
Right. But is that aligning with my value for the month or what the way I want my month to go, right? And so
Yeah.
as I reflect and I write about that, and then I'm like, oh, wait a second. I really do value this person that I'm trying to get this gift done for. So how can I?
Well,
Yeah.
and I could see that in this practice, if we went to the Lord at the beginning of the year or at the beginning of the month or at the beginning of the day and received a confirmation that what a value for the day is for us to focus on, and we were doing it like because we could keep coming back every time because I have squirrels in my brain, and so every time the squirrels wanted to run, to just quietly bring them back and say, okay, but this is what the Lord said for today. So we're going to
Right.
do this. It would bring me a lot more peace during my day. I would feel more centered and more purposeful
Mm.
and more
Mhm.
direct. And I wouldn't have so much brain chatter of, oh, you should and you didn't, or what
Mm.
about? But I'd
Mhm.
have that focused. We hear focused value, having set this up to begin with, you know,
Mm. Yeah,
could see it would make for a much more peaceful brain.
right.
Mm.
And I just had the thought, if we start doing this, it would probably helpful to, and this is probably hard for us to avoid being judgmental of ourselves, just to like, let's just see if we see, just do this to understand ourselves for a while, maybe that
Yes.
just say this,
Know yourself better.
just to learn to understand yourself, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Yes, it's a good thing. I promise you guys, as you go through and start to practice it and continue to practice it, it's that continuation over and over and over again that really brings, that's the power. We don't have to be smarter than the next person, just consistent, consistent,
Mm.
consistent. That's where the power's gonna, that's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Mhm. I
And
love sauce too.
it's always, it's the sauce that makes everything taste good, right?
It is.
Secret sauce, that's right.
I need the sauce. Yeah.
Good.
And I thought I had is sometimes at night I'm really tired. It's hard to be that reflective. So sometimes in the morning, that's when I do some of
Yep.
my journaling because
Me
my
too.
fresh at night. It's like at night lately I've just been writing out just to dump my brain. I've been doing that last few days so I can sleep better.
Which is
Works.
that does work. And I found even like with saying nightly prayers, because honestly, when I was waiting until the very end of my day to pray, I'm that person, I would fall asleep.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait,
Yes.
you
Or I'd
know,
make a grocery list because I was on autopilot,
oh
the
my
figurative grocery
gosh.
list, but still.
So I do my nightly prayers about 7 o'clock.
That's a good idea. I've
Yeah.
actually
There's no rule. Like, where's the rule? Where did God like put that in the commandments, the 10 commandments?
That's
yeah,
a
Say your
tradition.
nightly prayer right before you get in bed. Like,
Right.
no.
And don't think anything else until you're asleep because that was it.
yeah. Well, President Holland said that too. He said it's better, don't wait till you're so tired, that you can't, like you're falling asleep, you're just brain tired. So I hadn't thought about doing it at 7 o'clock, but yeah, I could do it a lot earlier. That's for sure.
Right? Right?
Yeah. Well, and I kind of like the idea of having my prayer when I go to put my pajamas on because I don't put my pajamas on right before I fall asleep. And let
Right.
that be, when I'm brushing my teeth and doing my pajamas and to take that time to pray.
There you go. Yeah.
Kind of like that habit stack at the end of the day.
And again, if you think about the way we've been taught, we have these check-in points with God all throughout our day. We get to wake up and offer thanks and check in with him in the morning. And then we have 3 meals a day. What if we take a moment and those are our times to check in with him.
Yes.
Our times 3 times a day to just check in with him. And we can tell him how we're doing. Man, you know what? My purpose for today that you gave me, as we checked in this morning, I'm struggling. It's lunchtime and I'm really struggling with that purpose. Can you help me find a way? to make that happen.
Mm.
That's brilliant, JC.
Yeah.
Remove the obstacles from yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then he gives us, our dinner prayer, but it's just, I love that we're praying. If we're following the Savior, he's blessing his food every time he eats, right? If we're following him, then we have those times to reconnect because he knows that life is going to get busy, but we're going to need to eat. So instead of just saying, hey, bless the food, thank you for it, bless it, take a moment and check in with him. Oh, we talked about this morning. And then that nightly prayer, just using it as return and report, in
Mhm.
a good way, just return and report. Is
It
that
really helps center my brain too. Before I pray, if I just take a couple of good long breaths,
Mhm.
it slows me down. Otherwise, it's like if I'm not giving a vocal prayer and it's in my head, it's like somebody put it on super hyper speed, If I take a minute and I just it's usually not till the third breath that I actually am slow, but it makes a huge difference. And I wonder if we did the same thing before we ate, what would our meal times feel like?
Mhm.
Actually taken 3 deep breaths or 2 deep breaths, whatever works for you, checked in, and they had a prayer like you were talking about, Jaycine, and then proceed to eat the food we have. I think it would be a whole different experience.
And if we could actually pause even 5 seconds after the prayer, that's the hardest part when you're starving.
Yes, yes. Your fork's on your way to your mouth as you're saying amen. Pause to listen. Yes, genius.
Well, thanks for being here, guys. Any other questions? And I'll send Beth the PowerPoint too, so you can have that. And
Yeah, that'd be good. So thank
And
you.
I'll take a look at the document and see if I can make some kind of little template. Might not be that it's done till the first of the year, but it'll get there because I really would love to have a little template that went into my journal pages. That'd
yeah,
be
it
Same.
would be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think a template would be amazing because then it's like all the stuff is there. I just have to fill it out. And it would
Right.
take me 5 minutes instead of like having to find all the written down stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I really like the idea. I'll have to watch and see what comes, but that
Yeah.
I'll try. I'll do my best.
I just had one more thought that
Yeah.
I just thought of is that, and this is something, it's an idea in my head, but I'm still trying to figure out how to implement it. Is a lot of times we think we have to do things so much more grander than that's needed.
Yes.
And that's what,
All simple
and that's what
things.
keeps us from doing it. Because we think, oh, that's just too hard.
Mhm.
Yep.
Because we think we have this grandiose picture, because we all want to be grand, right? We love to do grand.
We aspire to be like our Father in heaven, and He's amazing.
Yeah. So anyway, I know that's not exactly the theme here, but it's,
Yeah, but think about this.
So important. The quote, we overestimate what we can do in a day and we underestimate what we can do in a year, right?
Yes.
All the time.
mm,
Yeah.
that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And what we can do in 10 years is incredible.
If anyone has come up with some of their focal points besides what Jaycine shared with us.
Mm.
Are you asking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm asking.
Other thoughts that came to your mind, what your values are. Yeah. What are some
One
other values?
of mine is callings, because when I committed to a calling, I committed to the Lord that would happen. And I have callings that unless I have it in front of my face on the daily, they get forgotten because
Mm.
it's not something I have to have done for every Sunday. And so one of mine is callings.
I was thinking the same lines, Beth, but to me it fell very, very nice under Jaycine's lead.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so like I what I've started to do is do bullet points under her main ones. Cause like, oh, this is where that for me will fall in. This is where that for me will fall in. So
Oh,
Mhm.
Jen, if you feel inclined to share, I'd love to see, because it'll prompt me for my little bullet points. Yeah.
at some point maybe I will. So we're
At
kind of
some
like
point. I know not
And
today,
guys-
but I
I
love the
think
way
I'm trying to like
your
really figure them out. Yeah.
Right.
bullet point brain though, and I love
I
that.
do. I
Yeah.
love bullet point brain. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
But I think also, guys, keep it simple. That is the other, if I can give you anything else, keep it simple. Set your timer for 5 minutes at the end of the
And
day.
make yourself stop.
Don't go over. Yeah, when that 5 minutes is up, you're done.
10 goes down, just like with the standardized
Yep.
test.
Yep, you're done.
That would make me want to do it more, because that would make it a competition to see if I can get
Like,
it done in 5
what can I get done in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And just even that practice of reflecting every single day, that is, think about the power that has. I mean, it is truly, it's line upon line, right? He's going to teach us line upon line. And so by the end of the year, as we do that what we have learned and that our intuition is going to be so much greater. And we're not even going to realize it until we go back and we look at January and be like, whoa, whoa, look how I started. Look what my writings were when I started. Look at what they are now when I'm, in December. Wow. Yeah. It's cool. So.
Amazing.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jaycine. This is
You're welcome. Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate it so much.
So good. And what do we have forthcoming? I don't think we have anything until the podcast, and then we're done till the end of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're doing one more podcast and then you're done.
I think so. And then I was kind of wondering if maybe in January, we might want to do something on inspired goal setting, with having the combination of the year-end review and the my one word before that.
Yeah.
And just maybe do something with inspired goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we can plan a Saturday morning that we want to talk about that for a little bit. Yes, but this is, I just feel like this particular way of year-end review, and I've never done the daily or the monthly, but I love the year-end. Is just for starting the next year clear and defining what you're going to do.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, we will talk soon.
Thank you.
Saturday.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye.
Can you hear it? Quiet revolution. Oh, it's the quiet revolution. We don't understand the power that we have. No, we don't understand the power that he has. We don't understand the power.